What if one of the most overlooked plants growing in gardens, fields, roadsides, and neglected corners could be far more nutritious than you ever imagined? Most people see it and simply walk past, but there may be a fascinating nutritional story hiding in plain sight. Meet amaranth, a leafy green that has been eaten in different parts of the world for generations, yet is still surprisingly unfamiliar to many people. Its leaves can be green, red, purple, or a mixture of different colors, and depending on the variety, the plant can grow remarkably well under a wide range of conditions. But here is where the story becomes interesting. When people hear the word nutrients, they often think about meat, eggs, or dairy first. Meat is certainly an excellent source of high-quality protein and several important nutrients, but amaranth leaves bring something completely different to the table. They are extremely rich in certain vitamins and minerals while being very low in calories and fat. So is this forgotten green actually more nutritious than meat? The answer is more complicated and much more interesting than a simple yes or no. Let's begin with a nutrient people usually associate most strongly with meat: protein. And this is where we need to be honest. Amaranth leaves do not beat beef for protein. According to food composition data, 100 grams of raw amaranth leaves contain around 2.46 grams of protein, while a comparable 100-gram portion of cooked lean beef can contain roughly 27.5 grams. That means beef is dramatically more protein-dense. Protein is essential for building and repairing muscles, producing enzymes and hormones, and supporting countless processes inside the body. Meat also provides complete, highly bioavailable protein along with nutrients such as vitamin B12, zinc, selenium, and phosphorus. So if your goal is simply to maximize protein from a small amount of food, meat has a clear advantage. But protein is only one part of nutrition, and this is where amaranth starts to become fascinating. Now look at vitamin C. Here the situation changes dramatically. Raw amaranth leaves provide around 43 milligrams of vitamin C per 100 grams of raw amaranth, while beef contains essentially no vitamin C. Vitamin C plays important roles in collagen production, immune function, antioxidant protection, and improving the absorption of non-heme iron from plant foods. This means that while beef gives you nutrients that plants struggle to provide, amaranth gives you nutrients that meat simply doesn't offer in meaningful amounts, and vitamin C is only the beginning. Then comes one of the most remarkable numbers, vitamin K. Amaranth leaves contain roughly 1,140 micrograms of vitamin K per 100 grams in the reference food composition data. Vitamin K is involved in normal blood clotting and also plays an important role in bone metabolism. Compared with beef, the difference is enormous. Beef provides very little vitamin K by comparison. This is a perfect example of why saying one food is simply better than another can be misleading. Beef dominates in protein and several B vitamins, while a leafy green such as amaranth can dominate in particular vitamins and minerals. Good nutrition is not a competition between one food and another. It is about what different foods contribute to the overall diet. Amaranth leaves are also impressive when it comes to calcium and magnesium. Around 100 grams of raw leaves can provide approximately 215 milligrams of calcium and 55 milligrams of magnesium, along with a substantial amount of potassium. Calcium is important for bones, teeth, muscle contraction, and normal nerve signaling, while magnesium participates in hundreds of biochemical reactions throughout the body. Interestingly, research examining different amaranth species has found considerable variation in mineral concentrations depending on the species and growing conditions. Some varieties can provide particularly meaningful amounts of magnesium and vitamin C even in a relatively small serving. And then there is iron. Amaranth leaves contain around 2.3 milligrams of iron per 100 grams in the reference USDA-derived data. Beef can provide more iron in the same weight, and the iron in meat is generally more readily absorbed because it includes heme iron. But amaranth has an interesting advantage. It naturally contains vitamin C, which can help the body absorb non-heme iron from plant foods. So combining iron-rich leafy greens with vitamin C-rich foods can be a smart nutritional strategy. Researchers have specifically highlighted amaranth leaves as a potential dietary source of essential nutrients, including minerals and vitamin C. Another nutrient worth mentioning is folate, a B vitamin particularly important for DNA synthesis and normal cell division. Amaranth leaves provide considerably more folate than beef in the comparison data. They also contain vitamin A in the form of provitamin A-related compounds and other plant phytochemicals. At the same time, beef has its own nutritional strengths. It provides vitamin B12, which is naturally absent from amaranth leaves, as well as substantially more selenium, zinc, vitamin B6, niacin, phosphorus, and highly concentrated protein. This comparison teaches us an important lesson. Plants and animal foods often complement each other nutritionally, rather than replacing one another completely. So why is this plant sometimes described as a forgotten supergreen? One reason is its adaptability. Different amaranth species are found in diverse environments, and some are capable of growing under challenging conditions. They can be cultivated as leafy vegetables and are already traditional foods in many regions. Research on amaranth describes it as a crop with potential for sustainable food systems because of its nutritional value, diversity, and ability to perform under different environmental conditions. But grows almost anywhere should not be taken literally. Like every crop, amaranth still needs suitable soil, moisture, temperature, sunlight, and growing conditions. Its reputation comes from its relative hardiness, not from being impossible to kill. And there is another side to the story that responsible gardening and nutrition videos should never ignore. Amaranth leaves contain oxalates and nitrates, compounds that can affect mineral availability or create concerns when consumed in excessive amounts or under particular circumstances. Fortunately, traditional cooking methods can help. Blanching, boiling, or stir-frying can significantly reduce oxalate and nitrate levels, and boiling followed by discarding the cooking water can reduce these compounds further. This is especially relevant when harvesting leaves from uncontrolled or contaminated locations. So instead of picking an unidentified plant from the roadside and eating it immediately, make sure you have correctly identified an edible amaranth variety and prepare it properly. There is also a practical advantage to this green. It is incredibly versatile in the kitchen. Young leaves can be cooked like other leafy vegetables, added to soups, mixed into curries, stir-fried with garlic and spices, or combined with other vegetables. In many traditional cuisines, amaranth leaves are treated not as some exotic health product, but simply as everyday food. And perhaps that is the most interesting part of the entire story. We often search for expensive superfoods imported from faraway places while overlooking nutritious plants that have been growing around us for generations. So, is amaranth actually more nutritious than meat? Not overall, and saying that would be misleading. If we compare protein, vitamin B12, zinc, selenium, and several B vitamins, beef clearly has major advantages. But if we look at vitamin C, vitamin K, calcium, manganese, folate, potassium, and certain plant compounds, amaranth leaves can be remarkably impressive. In other words, the real winner is not one food replacing the other. The smarter approach is variety. A balanced diet can include protein-rich foods alongside nutrient-dense vegetables, fruits, grains, legumes, and healthy fats. Amaranth is valuable precisely because it offers a nutritional profile that is very different from meat. And perhaps that is why this humble plant deserves another look. It doesn't need a fancy package, an expensive supplement label, or a complicated marketing campaign. A small patch in a garden can produce edible leaves, and different varieties have been used as food for centuries. The plant reminds us that nutrition isn't always found in the foods that receive the most attention. Sometimes it is hiding in plain sight, in a green leaf that people walk past every day. So the next time you see amaranth growing in a garden or vegetable patch, don't think of it as just another ordinary weed. Think about what is inside those leaves. Protein, vitamin C, vitamin K, calcium, magnesium, potassium, iron, folate, and the range of plant compounds, all packed into a remarkably low-calorie vegetable. It may not replace a steak, and it shouldn't be presented as a magical cure or a complete food, but as part of a diverse diet, this forgotten green can be a genuinely valuable addition to the plate. And maybe the biggest lesson isn't that plants are better than meat, or meat is better than plants. The lesson is that nature doesn't put all of its nutrition into one food. Different foods bring different strengths, and the healthiest plate is often the one that brings them together. If you enjoyed discovering the hidden nutritional power of this forgotten green, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us for more fascinating foods, plants, and natural secrets that are hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching.